The Coach Initiative is proud of its highly skilled and dedicated coaches. Please enjoy this conversation with Donna Coulson, who is passionate about coaching and living life to its fullest.
I'd like to have a conversation with people before I begin coaching them. And that's usually what, brings them in. I like to know who they are, what's on their plate, and what are some of the challenges that they're having in life. And I'd like to coach the whole person 360. So most of my clients are business clients, but they also have personal lives. And every executive I've ever coached has had problems with their teenage children. I don't coach teenagers, but I've heard so many of the challenges that they have. So I've talked to people who coach teenagers, and I don't want to coach their kids. I want to coach them about dealing with their kids. And that really helped me tremendously to tap those resources. My style is one of listening and challenging. I don't beat people up like an athletic coach would, but I like to challenge people to take a bigger step or take their first step. And so I'll be gentle if they're doing something for the first time, but most of the business people I work with are used to having, pretty hefty goals. So I like accountability from people as well too. So I like a clear coaching agreement. I like to really forge forth with discovery because people find out things about themselves. And one of the things I learned to do was to pause and give people time to think and process so they would do the work. And that was one of the first pieces of feedback I got, from my mentor coach. Stop doing the work for them. Stop coming up with solutions. If you give them space and time to think about it through your questioning or your challenges, let them come up with some ideas and you don't have to work so hard. So I think that's kind of my style. If people want me to really challenge them, I can do that. I can be the tough D that I am, but I'm a DI on disc. So the I helps me to tone it down a bit. One of the ways to be healthy as a leader and an executive is to make sure you're taking care of yourself. So I used to work at the medical school, UMD NJ in New Jersey, became Rutgers again. And I worked with Dr. Adam Perlman, he set up the integrative medicine department at Duke University down here. And I worked with him, in New Jersey too. And he used to say that people who are driven, they don't always take care of themselves and they end up having heart attacks at the age of 50, or they acquire cancers and things like that. So we were integrating coaching into the curriculum for the wellness program, and we used a coach approach. And so he made me mindful of the fact that no matter how busy you are, you always have time to make sure you're taking care of your sinuses, you're eating properly. You don't have to eat 3 squares a day, but you can't go all day without eating and not feel faint. So he kind of enriched me in terms of here's how you can do that. Executives are driven people. Executives is a whole different style of coaching. It is you need to challenge them. It's not about life and love and hugs and stuff like that. Whereas with life coaching, some people do, especially life coaching, which is fine. It's more about people who are recrafting their life or reestablishing their life. And it's a very different coaching from executive. But when I say 360, invariably when I'm coaching people, they're going through stress. So I like to know what they use as stress relievers, hopefully not smoking, not overeating, not just driving themselves, to the bitter edge, So, but when you coach the whole person and they're comfortable with you, they oftentimes will bring up some personal aspect of their life. So my focus is still on leadership, and leaders, but also making sure that the leaders are taking care of themselves and that, they can also be good role models for the people that are behind them, supervisors, professionals, other people. And so it's not that I'm plying my clients all the time, but people I especially like or have relationships with, I just usually do a check-in at Christmas and just say, how's it going for the coming year? Sometimes I do a mid-year check, with people, depending on if I know that they're going through some tough times. A lot of people are experiencing death of parents, children going off to college, an empty nest or whatever. So sometimes it's not a coaching opportunity, but sometimes it is. And I think you never know who your clients are going to refer you to as well. That your clients may not be looking to re-sign up with you, but they may have some colleagues or friends that could benefit, from coaching. And it's not about the coaching as much as it is about the life or work situation that people are undergoing. You need to talk their language. You need to find out where their pain point is, or whatever too, so that they can successfully, emerge and have a game plan for themselves. Coaching for Coach Initiative because I have met some awesome leaders that are doing incredible things around the world. I've worked with Search for Common Ground, which are peacemakers all over the world. They're leaders, they're leading a team, sometimes are in dangerous situations. I've also worked with Special Olympics, and I've been involved with them before when I lived in New Jersey. And I find that their challenges are so different from my corporate clients, but they're leaders just the same, and they have the same challenges of motivating people, supporting people, and deciding how they want to communicate to others and how they want to plan their initiatives or whatever. It's been a very rewarding experience, and I've done it for a number of years. But I think Coach Initiative, their heart and soul is in the right place. And I love the fact that you match people up, and they're pretty good matches as well too. And then I love the fact we have a time frame to work with them. It kind of gives them an opportunity to experience that. What's on my agenda for Donna Coulson? Well, when I was in first grade, I loved social studies. And I told Mrs. Reinertson, my teacher, that I was going to go see the penguins and whales in Antarctica someday. And I did that in 2020 before COVID hit, January of 2020. When I saw three penguins, they have a penguin highway and they have the right of way before humans do. I looked at those three penguins and I thought, I'm here. This is it. I'm doing it. Took me a long time, but I didn't want to do the 7 continents. I wanted to do North Pole, South Pole. So in 2016, I went to Iceland with a company called Walking Adventures. They're the people I walk with, and I walked with them in Antarctica too. And so it's a guided walk. I've also been in Machu Picchu, and I enjoyed seeing the ancient civilizations that I had read so much about. It's very rigorous. You have altitude to deal with, so you need to make sure you drink a lot of water so you don't have altitude sickness. And it's also very rocky going in. So you need to make sure you've got good walking shoes on and take a walking stick with you, because people fall and break their ankles and their elbows and what have you. And next on my agenda, I was supposed to go to Cuba. That trip was canceled because the electrical grid failed, but I'm going in January to Costa Rica because I was a bird warden at Sandy Hook, New Jersey, and I want to see the bird life in Costa Rica, but it's going to be a walking trip. So it's a way of me staying healthy and what have you. So that's another one of my passions. And my second big passion is theater. I'm a volunteer at Thalian Hall, which is an 1858 theater. And our CEO announced 2 weeks ago, we have a $25 million building campaign. City Hall was co-located and they've moved. We're going to take over their space and create a bigger theater experience. And I also work at Wilson Center, part of Cape Fear Community College. They have a 1,500 seat theater with high tech. So I haven't been up on the catwalk. I'm not allowed, but I just love watching the students and the staff work behind the scenes. Here's something important for coaches. You need to make sure that you do have passions in your life and that you pursue them and don't put them off. We don't know how long our life is. I know some people who are 104 and live in an apartment, and I have two 92-year-old friends that keep in touch with me. One of them is my former mentor. One of them is my friend's former boss. And so I enjoy knowing lively ladies, and I don't know any men that age, but, I just enjoy people that are, older and enjoying life. And I enjoy younger people that are enjoying life. I like learning about things they're paying attention to. And I think as coaches, we work with all generations. I think we need to be alert. We don't have to participate necessarily, but we need to know what their passions are, and so that they can make time in their lives to have some passion and some fun.